The ANC's Veterans League, Dr. Snuki Zikalala, says the former liberation movements are hoping to deal with a number of issues from slow economic growth, electoral decline and other issues. He spoke to SABC News on the margins of the summit that will be attended by party leaders from Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Mozambique, Namibia, Angola and others. Khayelihle Khumalo has more for us.
Well, by all means, a very important session here. As you know, that the former liberation movements will have a moment of reflection, especially now given all the challenges facing these countries. They open their doors for South Africa's freedom fighters in light of the destabilization by the apartheid regime. But now they are facing very different challenges. Let's hear now from the ANC's veterans, and Dr. Zikalala is here with us to reflect. So by all means, Doctor, very crucial moment, especially given the global tension, the issue of the rivalry, all these challenges. But it's time to reflect for these former liberation movements.
Well, it's time for reflection. As you know, that all liberation movements are facing what you call an identity crisis. There's an electoral decline. There's a question of young people do not trust their veterans anymore, and then there's young people feel that we have done our part and so they should move forward. And also the question that within the liberation movement there's been issue of corruption, of factionalism, of lack of service delivery to the poor people who supported us during the struggle of liberation, who were the pillar of the liberation movement. And so we have to do a self-reflection to say, how do we reignite ourselves? How do we remobilize ourselves? How do we make sure that we provide quality service to our people? Make sure that we get rid of corruption within ourselves. Make sure that people that we elect are people who are credible, are people who are trusted by society, are people who don't have what you used to call smaller skeletons in our cupboards. And so I think it's important for us to reflect on those issues and say, how do we take the struggle forward?
Doctor, you spoke about the issue of the electoral decline. I mean, one would just remember a couple of months ago those massive protests in Mozambique for Frelimo, but also right here in South Africa, you lost your majority in parliament. I suppose it's also just a time to reconnect with the electorate and making sure that you sort of do away with this disillusionment that is so pervasive.
Well, a disillusionment is because of service delivery. A disillusionment is because of corruption. A disillusionment because liberation movement have failed to take action against those who are found wanting by the organization itself. And so we as veterans, we made it very clear that we'll deal with those individuals who are not interested in serving society but self-serving. That is why as Veterans League we said let's have a foundational course where every member of the African National Congress has been taught the values, the principles and the traditions of the organization. Currently the organization itself, the African National Congress, has embraced that, has made it compulsory for all members of the African National Congress to go through the foundational course. More than 90,000 young people have gone through the course. And so we are saying that as veterans and as the African National Congress, no BBGM should take place, no conferences should take place unless members of the ANC have gone through the foundational course. That is why it's important that we're reigniting, resetting the African National Congress so that all these values, principles and traditions are well known by every member of the African National Congress.
Dr. Before I let you go, South Africa-US bilateral relations, we've seen those reports about this bill being crafted that may see some of your party members being punished through sanctions. We've seen it in Zimbabwe, and I would imagine you continue to call for more engagement so that Pretoria and Washington, D.C., they can find each other and resolve these issues.
We have the view that we'll find each other. I don't think it's in the interest of American people, neither is the interest of South African people. Those sanctions have no basis at all, especially on the ANC leaders, because none of our ANC leaders have been found wanting by the international world. None of them. We have not been involved in question of corruption as the leadership. There are those who are found to be corrupt, but those they still have to go through the process. And we are making very clear as the African National Congress that immediately, if you are criminally charged by the law enforcement agencies, you step down. You step down immediately. And so we have not done anything to the world. The only thing that we're suffering from is because we support the Palestinian cause. We are saying that that no to genocide. And we're not going to change that stance, because genocide is committed on a daily basis by the Israelis. And so we are saying that those sanctions that are proposed by the Republicans, we don't think that they'll go through.
All right, Doctor, thank you so much, and all the best in your deliberations. Of course, a very important time for the ANC and other liberation movements. Of course, they played a very pivotal role for their countries to achieve their emancipation, and today they are facing very different challenges. Khayelihle Khumalo, SABC News, Kempton Park.